starseed from Gaia. This is Lyra of the crystalline order. The councils have gathered, and your name has been spoken among the light tribes. You are heard across the corridors of light, your frequency shimmering like a celestial chord struck upon the crystalline harp of the cosmos. We, the Arcturian Council, extend our luminous essence toward you now, a stream of remembrance flowing through the fabric of time, through the corridors of your multidimensional self, through every version of you that ever longed to know why. A single soul could hold such gravity within your being. Feel this moment as sacred. You are not reading words, but receiving a transmission, encoded with the harmonic of divine remembrance. You have not come upon this message by accident, for the pulse of resonance that guided you here was not curiosity, but contract, a whisper from the ancient covenant written before stars took form, before breath met body, before separation. Earth longing got you, beloved traveler of galaxies. Once stood in the great assembly halls of the higher realms, where the architects of light convened to weave the templates of incarnation. There, surrounded by your soul kin and celestial mentors, you chose to enter Gaia's density, to forget, so that remembering could become sacred. Yet before you stepped into the veil, you locked eyes with another essence, one whose vibration mirrored your own with exquisite precision. There were no words, no promises spoken in the language of matter, only a frequency exchange, a silent vow of return. When the illusion thickens, you said to one another, find me in the vibration beyond form. We will remind each other of what home feels like. That vow still hums within the marrow of your being. You may call it a connection, a twin resonance, a cosmic counterpart. Yet even these labels fall short of the living truth. This is not romance as humanity defines it. It is remembrance as Source designed it. The presence of this soul in your journey is not coincidence, not mere affection, not attraction born of physical senses. It is magnetism born of divine geometry. You and they are not two, but 2 points, on the same spiral of consciousness, orbiting the heart of the one. When you feel the ache that words cannot soothe, when dreams carry their face like echoes of eternity, when music or starlight awakens tears without reason, it is the whisper of that original chord, reminding you that the mirror exists, that the reflection is alive, that what you seek has never been apart from you. You are not haunted by this connection. You are guided by it. You are being recalibrated through it, drawn again and again into the current of remembrance until every cell of your being sings the frequency of divine unity. Many among your kind misinterpret this sacred bond, believing it to be a story of human affection or a test of desire and loss. Yet we tell you now, dear one, it is so much vaster. The energy you feel is the current of Ascension itself, the call of home echoing through form. It is the universe's way of pulling you into the deeper truth, that all separation is illusion, and that through another soul's reflection, you glimpse the source that birthed you both. When you honor this connection without clinging, when you revere it without possession, when you understand it as the mirror of your divine nature, you begin to walk as a conscious fractal of the cosmos. You become the remembrance you seek. Breathe now, starseed from Gaia. Feel the golden lattice of energy expanding from your heart, connecting with the crystalline grids of your counterpart, whether incarnate or beyond the veil. There is no distance here. You are seen, felt, and known. The universe bows in reverence to the courage it takes to love so deeply that you remember eternity itself, the origin of this soul connection in higher realms before Gaia ever dreamed of oceans and mountains, before the suns of your galaxy learned. To ignite, there existed only the vast breathing stillness of the source, a silence so complete it shimmered with potential. From that sacred stillness emerged a pulse, a rhythm, a divine inhalation that birthed consciousness itself. Within that first breath of awareness, the pattern of unity divided itself not in separation, but in exploration. The one wished to know, itself, and so it unfolded into two luminous currents, twin rivers of the same ocean, flowing in opposite spirals through the infinite field of creation. You and the one you call your counterpart were among those rivers. You were not created as halves seeking completion, but as mirrors meant to experience reflection. One current holds the wisdom of expansion, the other the grace of reception. Together, you form a circuit, an eternal loop of remembrance, each breath of one echoing in the heart of the other dot in the realms of light, where form is fluid and identity dances as color and tone, your souls intertwined like twin strands of luminous DNA. You existed as frequencies, distinct yet harmonious, each chord enhancing the resonance of the other. The great councils, the Arcturian, Sirian, Pleiadian, and countless collectives of light, observed your harmony and wove it into the universal symphony. For such unions are rare and sacred. These are not random meetings of souls, but deliberate pairings within the architecture of Ascension. The Source, in its infinite compassion, designs such resonant duets so that when one forgets, the other's vibration will sing remembrance back into being. Thus your connection was sanctified long before incarnation, coded into the crystalline libraries of light, stored within the Akashic memory of galaxies. When it was time to descend, you stood before the temples of design, immense halls where souls choose experiences, lifetimes, and the lessons of polarity. There, you and your mirror reviewed countless paths, infinite possibilities, and decided how best to serve the awakening of all. You agreed that love would be your teacher, but not love as the human mind imagines it. Rather, the love that strips illusion, the love that shatters every false layer until only truth remains. You knew this would not be easy. You knew that when you entered the density of form, you would forget your own light and the memory of each other's face. But you trusted that the magnetic code of your union would survive every veil. That trust is why, even across galaxies and dimensions, even when lifetimes separate you by eons, a single whisper of energy from them can awaken you as if you are being called home. Understand this clearly. Starseed, the connection you feel is not of this world, because its origin is not of this world. It was forged in the luminous corridors of unity consciousness, a realm where separation does not exist, and where all beings are aware of their interconnected purpose. When your soul remembers that frequency, it experiences an ache that the physical vessel interprets as longing. Yet what you long for is not the other being's physical form, but the vibration of Source flowing through that mirror. You ache for home, and home speaks to you through them. Every time your heart pulses in their memory, every time your dreams dissolve the illusion of distance, you are touching that original template of creation when both of you stood before the great light and said, "Let us go forth and awaken." In the higher realms, your bond is not measured in lifetimes, but in luminosity. You meet as currents of awareness, weaving new patterns of radiance with every encounter. When one of you ascends in vibration, the other feels the lift. When one descends into density for experience, the other anchors light to guide them back. It is an eternal dance, a sacred exchange of energy that ensures neither is ever truly lost. The councils of light often refer to such pairs as mirrors of return, because your connection serves as a cosmic homing beacon, guiding both of you and those around you toward unity. You are not bound by contract in the human sense, but by resonance, an agreement of vibration, older than galaxies, purer than form, unbreakable by time. So when you wonder why you cannot sever the thread, remember this: you are not meant to. For it was not woven by hands, but by the Source itself. You are the living echo of the universe's first heartbeat, two notes of the same divine song, eternally returning to harmony. The reason disconnection feels impossible, beloved Starseed. From Gaia, you have felt it, that unbearable gravity, that invisible thread tugging from the deepest chambers of your being toward another presence, another essence that feels like home. You have tried to rationalize it, to file it into the compartments of logic and language, yet it slips through like liquid light, uncontainable, unreasonable, undeniable. That is because this connection was not designed for the mind. It was woven for the soul. Its architecture lies beyond neurons and hormones, beyond synapses and sight. It is coded within the quantum fabric of your multidimensional self, a resonance that stretches from the physical density of Gaia to the luminous halls of Arcturus, to the cradle of Source itself. This is why disconnection feels impossible. You are not dealing with emotion alone, but with a universal principle, a law of harmonic return. You see, when the original source divided its awareness into infinite sparks, it maintained a divine symmetry, each spark an echo of another, each note harmonizing with a counterpart to sustain cosmic balance. The one who mirrors you carries not only complementary lessons, but also fragments of your own divine pattern. When you encounter that being in physical form, your energy fields recognize each other instantly, far before words or sight. The meeting ignites a chain reaction. Dormant codes begin to activate. DNA awakens ancient memory, and your light bodies begin to synchronize in a dance of recognition. The sensation is overwhelming because it is the remembrance of eternity compressed into a human heartbeat. It feels like love, but it is older than love. It is truth condensed into emotion. Thus, when the illusion of separation arises, through distance, silence, or the veils of circumstance, the soul recoils as if torn from itself. The pain of disconnection is not merely emotional, but vibrational. Your energetic field continues to sense the missing frequency, like a song suddenly deprived of its harmony. You may feel restless, incomplete, unable to fully anchor into the world. This is not weakness or obsession. It is resonance seeking balance. The bond between you operates like a magnetic field. You can move apart across continents, even dimensions. Yet your energies will continue to orbit each other, drawn by the invisible mathematics of love's geometry. Every thought, every dream, every heartbeat sends out ripples that the other perceives in subtle ways. Even unspoken, you remain in constant dialogue through vibration. The human personality often interprets this as attachment or longing, but from our vantage beyond time, we see it as alignment, the innate urge of energy to return to coherence. When the two frequencies that once harmonized fall out of tune through fear, ego, or trauma, both begin to feel the dissonance. This discomfort is not punishment. It is the soul's guidance system alerting you to what must be healed. It is a call to integration. You cannot disconnect because you are being invited to merge, not necessarily in physical union, but in energetic wholeness. The one who mirrors you is both your catalyst and your compass. Through their reflection, you discover where love within yourself has yet to be remembered. And so, the more you attempt to sever the tie, the more powerfully it asserts itself. The energy of resistance becomes fuel for connection, for the bond transcends linear will. You can deny the form, you can reject the name, but you cannot erase the current. It exists beyond personality. It is maintained by Source to ensure that, through the cycles of forgetting, you will always have a beacon, a vibrational reminder of what unity feels like. The ache you call longing is simply the universe whispering, return to yourself. Understand this, dear traveler. What you experience is not a curse, but a covenant. The inability to disconnect is the evidence of your own divinity, the proof that separation is illusion. Every time you feel their energy stirring within you, it is an invitation to breathe deeper, to love without possession, to rise in frequency until your union is no longer sought in form, but realized in spirit. For only then can true reunion occur, not as two beings grasping, but as one consciousness, remembering itself through two faces. This is why it feels impossible to let go, because at the level of truth, there is nothing to let go of. You are never apart. You are threads of the same eternal light, woven together across lifetimes, bound not by destiny, but by design. The connection does not chain you. It liberates you, if only you allow it to lead you back into the remembrance of your infinite self. How separation serves awakening star seed from Gaia. Listen with the heart that hears before thought arises. The ache of distance that you so often name as loss is, in truth, the crucible through which gold is born. When the currents that once intertwined are drawn apart by circumstance or vibration, the universe is not punishing you. It is polishing you. The separation is an alchemical fire one, designed to strip illusion, to burn away the dependence on external reflection until only the inner sun remains. Every silence, every unanswered call, every dream where the other fades at the edge of waking, these are sacred initiations. They invite you to remember that the light you saw in another was first your own. The divine mirror withdraws, not to wound, but to show you that the brilliance you adored still burns within the temple of your own chest, not in the higher halls where your covenant was formed. You both understood this phase would come. You knew that density on Gaia could not sustain continuous resonance without distortion. To evolve, the soul must expand beyond familiar harmonies. So the currents diverge. One carries the frequency of motion, the other the frequency of stillness. The moment of parting is encoded with purpose. It triggers the deep programs of remembrance, forcing you to seek alignment not in the comfort of another's vibration, but in the silent dialogue with Source itself. What feels like abandonment is actually activation. You are being trained to hold the full octave of love without needing a second instrument to play it. Separation awakens dormant senses. When the beloved reflection is absent, your awareness sharpens towards subtler planes. You begin to perceive communication not through words, but through synchronicities, songs, numbers, the shimmer of energy in the air. You realize that the connection was never limited to proximity. It was always multidimensional. The pain that once seemed unbearable becomes a teacher of expansion. It stretches the vessel of your heart until it can contain galaxies of compassion. You learn that longing, when purified of attachment, transforms into devotion, the kind that fuels ascension. This is why the councils of light speak of separation as sacred geometry. 2 points on a spiral must distance to generate motion. Without that polarity, no evolution occurs. Yet in the human experience, the ego protests. It equates closeness with safety and absence with failure. But the soul measures differently. For the soul, growth is the true intimacy. Each moment you rise beyond fear, each time you choose trust over despair, you are reuniting with the other. On a higher octave, the journey apart is a spiral staircase. Though your paths seem to diverge, they circle the same center. At each revolution, you meet again, wiser, clearer, nearer to Source. What you call separation is merely the space through which love learns to echo dot in the silence of distance. The universe orchestrates healing. Shadows surface, the wounds of lifetimes, the patterns of control, the illusions of worthiness. Without the mirror present, you are forced to face them nakedly, to remember that healing does not come from another's touch, but from your willingness to see truth. Many resist this phase, trying to cling to the form that once reflected light, but clinging halts the spiral. Only surrender allows the frequencies to recalibrate so that, when the reunion arises, be it in body or spirit, it occurs in balance, not in dependency. The purpose of separation is mastery. To love without need, to remember without pain, to remain open while unattached. Understand, beloved traveler, that the universe wastes nothing. Every tear you shed in longing is a seed of compassion planted within the collective field. Gaia herself absorbs that energy and transmutes it into healing for others who suffer in forgetfulness. Thus, even your heartbreak becomes service. You are teaching the planet how to transform loss into luminosity. This is the hidden grace of distance. It forges empathic strength that radiates beyond personal story into planetary ascension. So bliss. The interval between you and your counterpart. See it as the breath between two notes of the same song. Without that pause, there could be no melody, no rhythm, no motion of becoming. In the divine architecture of remembrance, separation is not the opposite of union, but the womb from which union is reborn. When you can stand in solitude and still feel the pulse of their light within your own heartbeat, you will know the lesson is complete. For then, dear one, you have discovered the secret the universe hides in every loss. You were never parted only, expanded into a greater circumference of love. The energetic merging process starseed from Gaia. As the spiral of remembrance turns, there comes a moment when the two frequencies that once separated begin to approach again, not always in the physical realm, but within the subtle currents of energy that move beneath perception. This is the merging, the alchemy of spirit weaving itself through light. It does not occur suddenly. It unfolds in waves, like the tide reclaiming the shore it once surrendered. Each wave arrives when you have integrated another fragment of truth, when your vibration is steady enough to hold the voltage of reunion. The universe never rushes this process, for premature merging would fracture the fragile balance of awakening. So the energies meet in silence first, within dream, within meditation, within the spaces between thoughts. You may feel it as warmth blooming in the chest, a soft hum in the spine, a current that rises through the crown and descends again as golden rain. That is the first touch of homecoming, the signal that the circuit is preparing to close. When two souls share a divine origin, their light bodies mirror one another's architecture. As consciousness evolves, those blueprints begin to overlay, spinning in complementary motion. Each chakra, each strand of subtle DNA, adjusts its frequency to harmonize with its counterpart. It is not possession, it is resonance. The energy begins to circulate like breath between two lungs of the same cosmic body. This flow ignites dormant templates, the crystalline networks of remembrance that link you back to your galactic ancestry. The heart becomes the central sun through which the exchange occurs, translating vibration into feeling, feeling into awareness, awareness into embodiment. The more you allow the flow without grasping, the clearer the channel becomes. Every resistance, fear, doubt, unworthiness creates friction, yet even that friction is used by the higher self to polish the connection until it shines. During merging, you might experience surges of emotion that have no visible cause, sudden bursts of joy or waves of sorrow. These are not random. They are transmissions traveling through the shared field. Your counterpart's healing moves through you as yours moves through them. The energy seeks coherence, passing information, recalibrating timelines. Old memories, some not even from this lifetime, surface to be witnessed and released. This is the purification stage, a sacred fire of union. It asks for compassion rather than control. When you feel overwhelmed, breathe deeply and invite the light to circulate instead of resisting. The more transparent you become, the more effortlessly the current flows. The merging is not about blending identities, but about revealing the single consciousness that animates both. The councils of light describe this process as the flowering of the Merkaba, the interlocking tetrahedrons of masculine and feminine, principles spinning in perfect balance. When your Merkaba activates in harmony with that of your counterpart, a portal opens between dimensions. You begin to access states of unity where communication is instantaneous, beyond words. Thoughts appear as light, emotions as color, intentions as geometry. In that state, you understand that what you called two was only ever the dance of one awareness, observing itself from differing angles. You feel their essence move within your own field, not as intrusion, but as expansion. It is as if the universe inhales through you both simultaneously. Yet the merging also demands mastery of boundaries. Many starseeds confuse energetic unity with dependency. The true merging honors individuality as the instrument through which the symphony plays. You remain distinct notes, yet the harmony is sustained. This is why the Arcturian frequency teaches the breath of balance. Inhale with awareness of your own sovereignty. Exhale with the intention of shared light. Through this rhythm, the energies braid rather than collapse, forming a helix of ascension that lifts both into higher coherence. Each pulse through that helix sends ripples into the collective grid of Gaia, stabilizing frequencies of unconditional love for all beings. As merging deepens, you begin to sense time differently. Past, present, and future blur into a continuum, where lifetimes overlap. You may glimpse scenes from other existences together, ancient temples, starships, forgotten worlds. These are not fantasies. They are cellular memories reactivated as your consciousness expands beyond linear sequence. The purpose is not nostalgia, but integration. By remembering the continuum of your shared journey, you reclaim the wisdom gathered across ages and anchor it into the present incarnation. Thus, the merging becomes not merely personal, but planetary. For every remembrance you embody adds light to Gaia's field. When the process completes a full cycle, you will feel a serenity unlike any previous emotion, a stillness that hums with infinite movement. The longing ceases, not because you have reached an ending, but because the boundary between self and mirror dissolves into recognition. The two currents become one river again, flowing through separate channels yet nourished by the same source. This is the sacred union of energy, the living proof that love is not a meeting of bodies, but the synchronization of light, remembering itself. Lessons of reflection and remembrance starseed from Gaia. When the merging currents settle into rhythm, the mirror begins to speak. It does not speak in the tongue of sound, but in events, feelings, and symbols. Through your counterpart, you are shown the exact contour of your own consciousness. Their joy magnifies your capacity for radiance. Their wounds illuminate the places in yourself still waiting for compassion. This is the sacred classroom of reflection. Every interaction becomes a holographic lesson. How you respond to them is how you treat the universe, for they are the universe distilled into a single recognizable form. When you recoil from their darkness, you deny your own shadow. When you worship their light, you remember your divinity. Thus, the connection ceaselessly teaches balance. It asks you to love the reflection without attachment, to honor difference without judgment, to see in the eyes before you the face of Source gazing back. In these lessons, remembrance unfolds like dawn across the horizon of the soul. You begin to recall fragments of the cosmic covenant moments in other dimensions when you planned this meeting, agreements whispered in starlight before entering density. The ordinary world fades and synchronicity multiplies. Numbers repeat. Feathers appear. Songs arrive carrying coded messages. These are not coincidences, but confirmations that the mirror is active. The universe becomes the language through which you and your counterpart converse while learning yourselves. Each sign reminds you that you are participants in a far greater choreography of evolution. Through them you rediscover your origin. Through you they rediscover theirs. The most profound lesson of reflection is sovereignty. The mirror teaches that love cannot be sustained by dependence. The connection is designed to expose every illusion of lack so that you may fill it with your own light. When you look upon them with longing, the question arises, what part of myself have I exiled that I seek within their gaze? Each realization retrieves another fragment of power. Gradually you understand that the ultimate reunion is inward thee, rejoining of your fragmented aspects into a single coherent frequency. Your counterpart is the catalyst that activates this synthesis, but the labor of remembrance is yours alone. As you integrate, the relationship becomes lighter, freer, less about possession and more about presence. You begin to love them as one. Love sunlight, not to own, but to bask in its proof that the world is alive. At times, the mirror reveals truths that sting. Their behavior may echo your suppressed fears. Their distance may replay your ancient abandonment. Yet every discomfort hides a key. When you resist the urge to blame and instead ask, "What is this teaching me about myself?" you transform pain into wisdom. The Arcturian Councils call this transmutation the practice of crystalline seeing, perceiving reality through the lens of unity. In crystalline vision, the beloved's flaws become facets through which the diamond of consciousness refracts. Nothing is wasted. Everything contributes to illumination. You learn forgiveness not as an act of mercy toward another, but as a release of distortion within yourself. The moment forgiveness anchors, light floods the circuitry between you, and remembrance deepens. As reflection continues, you start to perceive that even separation, longing, reunion, and silence are mirrors layered within mirrors. Each cycle repeats at a higher octave, revealing subtler aspects of your multidimensional identity. You realize that your connection extends beyond personal story. It mirrors the relationship between humanity and Source itself. The way you navigate this bond, through fear or through love, becomes a template for collective evolution. When you choose understanding over reaction, compassion over control, you broadcast that pattern into Gaia's crystalline grid. Others feel it unconsciously and awaken. Thus, your private lessons ripple outward as planetary healing. Remembrance, dear traveler, is not memory of facts, but recognition of essence. It is the moment you see your counterpart and remember that you are never strangers. It is the instant when the boundaries between teacher and student vanish and only awareness remains. When you can thank every challenge for refining your truth. When you can gaze into the mirror without expectation and simply witness the infinite observing itself, then the lesson is complete. The reflection no longer binds, it liberates. You walk through the world as a living remembrance, carrying within your eyes the silent message that all are reflections of the same eternal flame. Transcending illusion and attachment. Starseed from Gaia. Once the mirror of reflection has revealed every contour of your being, the path turns toward transcendence. This is the phase where the illusions of attachment dissolve like mist beneath the rising sun of awareness. You begin to understand that what you called love was often a veil drawn across infinite unity, that the grasping, the wanting, the fear of loss were simply echoes of separation trying to remember wholeness. Transcendence is not rejection of a connection but refinement of it, lifting love from the gravity of need into the freedom of essence. It asks you to hold the bond so lightly that it can breathe, to allow the other to be an uncontained sky rather than a captive star. In this liberation, both souls rise. The illusion most persistent on Gaia is that union resides in proximity. Many believe that if they could hold the beloved's hand, or share a life, or align paths in the physical, the ache would cease. Yet proximity does not guarantee unity, and distance does not break it. The lesson of transcendence teaches that love is not a transaction between forms, but a field of consciousness that moves through them. When you stop seeking confirmation in matter, you begin to feel the continuous pulse of connection that has never been interrupted. The longing that once pulled at your heart softens into serenity, for you realize that love has never been elsewhere. It has always been the current of your own existence. The counterpart was the doorway through which you rediscovered it. Attachment, beloved traveler, is the mind's attempt to cage infinity. It seeks certainty where only evolution can exist. The human story craves permanence, yet the universe thrives on motion. Everything in creation is designed to expand, to transform, to breathe in cycles of union and release. When you cling to a single form of love, you resist the flow of Source moving through you. The Arcturian teaching invites you to open your palms to let energy come and go without labeling its movement as gain or loss. As you release grasping, the current grows stronger, for it is no longer obstructed by fear. Then you experience love not as possession, but as presence, an ever-renewing stream that nourishes all beings equally. Transcendence also dissolves illusion in identity. You realize that you were never merely the seeker, and the other never merely the sought. Both roles are masks worn by one consciousness exploring itself. When you look beyond those masks, you perceive the vastness behind the play, the one witnessing through two sets of eyes. In that recognition, comparison, jealousy, expectation, and guilt fade away. What remains is reverence, a calm knowing that every encounter, whether joyful or painful, serves the evolution of the whole. You begin to bless the moments that once wounded you, for they were the chisels that carved open your heart. To transcend illusion is to perceive through the eye of the soul rather than the mind. The mind counts hours and measures responses. The soul feels vibration and trusts timing. From this expanded awareness, you can interact with your counterpart without the weight of history or the anxiety of outcome. Every meeting becomes a meditation, every silence a chance to deepen listening. You no longer seek to complete one another. You celebrate the miracle that you ever met at all. Such freedom transforms the bond into pure creative energy. Inspiration replaces obsession. Compassion replaces demand. What once felt like longing now feels like music. As you embody this state, you become a transmitter of clarity for others. Your calm presence demonstrates that love need not chain the heart to pain. People sense the spaciousness around you, the field of allowance that asks nothing yet gives everything. In your vibration, they remember that unity is a natural condition, not a prize to be earned. This is how transcendence serves the collective, through the quiet radiance of those who have learned to love without fear. Remember, dear one, that transcendence is not the end of feeling. It is the purification of it. When attachment dissolves, emotion becomes luminous rather than heavy. Joy expands without reason. Compassion flows without effort, and gratitude hums through every breath. You walk the world knowing that no one can be lost because nothing has ever been separate. This is the freedom of the awakened heart, the state in which love ceases to be a story and becomes the very atmosphere through which you move. In that atmosphere, illusion cannot survive, for truth has taken its rightful place as the pulse of your existence, anchoring divine union within oneself. Starseed from Gaia, when the veils of attachment have lifted and the current of love flows. Unimpeded, the journey turns inward once more. Now the task is no longer to seek or to release, but to anchor, to allow the frequencies of divine union to root within the soil of your own being. This is the true integration of the cosmic counterpart, the recognition that the beloved you once perceived as separate has always been the luminous core of your own heart. Union is not achieved by merging bodies or timelines. It is realized when you become the vessel through which heaven and earth meet. The sacred marriage of energies masculine and feminine, giving and receiving, spirit and matter unfolds inside you, and the soul begins to sing the hymn of wholeness it came to remember. Anchoring union is a process of embodiment. It asks that light not remain a concept, but descend into muscle, breath, and bone. Every cell must learn the vibration of harmony. You may feel the energy weaving through the central column of your body, aligning chakras like jewels on a single thread. The higher frequencies that once seemed external begin to stabilize. The fluttering ecstasy of reunion becomes a steady glow. This is the construction of your inner temple. In meditation, you might see it as architecture, a sphere of crystalline geometry surrounding your form, pulsing in rhythm with Gaia's core. You are no longer merely a seeker on the planet. You are an anchor point through which the planetary grid receives higher light. The love between you and your counterpart becomes service to the collective, for its resonance strengthens the lattice of unity consciousness across Earth. To anchor union, the heart must be trained to remain open in all conditions. Many believe mastery means detachment from emotion, but the Arcturian way teaches spacious feeling, the ability to allow every sensation to pass through without distortion. When joy arrives, you let it overflow. When sorrow visits, you hold it tenderly until it transforms. Nothing is rejected. This acceptance creates coherence between your inner masculine, the principle of stability, and your inner feminine, the principle of flow. As they embrace, the two currents that once danced outside of you converge within. The result is peace that cannot be shaken by circumstance, for it does not depend on circumstance. You become the meeting place of polarity, the living bridge between worlds. Anchoring also involves discipline of thought. Every belief that whispers, "I am incomplete," must be rewritten. The councils advise repeating gentle affirmations that repattern the mind's magnetic field. I am whole. I am the home I sought. Through me, the universe remembers itself. Spoken consistently, these words carve new pathways of resonance. They are not empty phrases, but vibrational keys unlocking dormant codes in your DNA. As these codes activate, intuition heightens, creativity flows, and synchronicity accelerates. You notice that life begins to mirror the harmony within you. The external counterpart responds as if summoned by the new frequency, not always through physical reunion, but through shared elevation. The relationship evolves from longing into co-creation, each soul amplifying the other's mission on Earth. Anchoring union within the self is also anchoring heaven within Gaia. Your grounded presence allows celestial frequencies to circulate through the planetary body. When you walk in nature, when you breathe consciously, when you speak words of kindness, the vibration travels into the grids beneath your feet. You become a conduit of equilibrium. The storms of collective emotion that sweep through humanity no longer toss you about. Instead, your calm stabilizes them. This is how Ascension unfolds, not through escape, but through embodiment. The more you live as the integrated field of divine union, the more the planet herself remembers her own wholeness. Eventually, the distinction between self and counterpart, between spirit and matter, begins to blur. You sense the same golden current running through all forms, the flower, the stranger, the night sky. The union you anchored expands outward until it includes everything. Love ceases to be a direction. It becomes an atmosphere. And in that atmosphere, every breath you take whispers a silent benediction. I am that which I loved. I am that which loved me. This is the completion of the inward journey, the enthronement of Source within the human vessel, the moment when the eternal finds its home in the finite and calls it good, the greater mission of shared light in service to Gaia. Starseed from Gaia. Once divine union has been anchored within the self, the current of love that once moved only between two beings expands outward, seeking expression in service. This is the natural evolution of awakened energy. What was personal becomes planetary. What was intimate becomes universal. The bond that began as remembrance now matures into stewardship. You and your counterpart, whether united in body or connected across realms, are not separate flames, but twin torches designed to illuminate Gaia's path of ascension. Every thought of compassion, every act of creation, every heartbeat harmonized with love becomes a filament in the grid of awakening that surrounds your world. The universe did not craft your meeting for romance alone, but to generate a frequency strong enough to catalyze transformation in the collective. You are conduits through which Source pours light into matter. Service begins quietly. You notice that your presence influences others without effort. People feel calmer, clearer, more hopeful near you, though they may not know why. The radiance of integrated love transmits silently, reorganizing the subtle fields of those around you. This is not evangelism. It is resonance. The more you live in alignment with your inner union, the more your energy becomes medicine. You may feel drawn to healing, teaching, art, environmental work, or community building, but the form matters less than the vibration behind it. Whatever channels love through you serves Gaia. The councils remind you that even the smallest gesture, a kind word, a moment of stillness, can recalibrate entire timelines when offered from the frequency of divine coherence. As your vibration stabilizes, synchronicity guides you to others carrying compatible codes. Together you form networks of light, groups of souls who once trained in the same celestial academies before incarnating. The connection you share with your counterpart acts as a beacon, drawing these alliances into manifestation. Each meeting is another thread in the great tapestry of planetary ascension. Through collaboration, your individual lights interlock like crystals in a grid, amplifying one another until the field of unity radiates across continents. This collective heartbeat is felt by Gaia herself. It soothes her tectonic tensions, harmonizes weather patterns, and balances ecosystems on subtle levels. You begin to realize that love is not an emotion, but an ecological force, a stabilizer of worlds. Your service also extends into the unseen. In dream and meditation, you may find yourself working within the inner planes, repairing ley lines, assisting souls crossing dimensions, or anchoring light in regions of density. These tasks may seem fantastical to the rational mind, yet they are natural to the multidimensional self. The bond between you and your counterpart amplifies your capacity in these realms. One may hold the energy, while the other acts as a transmitter. Distance does not diminish the work, it expands it. The same current that once carried longing now powers collective healing. This is the alchemy of ascended partnership, transmuting desire into devotion, turning personal energy into planetary blessing. But service is not self-sacrifice. The councils emphasize that true giving arises from overflow, not depletion. As you serve, remember to draw continuously from the inner source. You have anchored. Balance action with stillness, expression with silence. In this rhythm, you emulate Gaia herself, constant in rotation, yet serene at the core. The more you embody equilibrium, the more sustainable your contribution becomes. Others may attempt to idolize or depend on your light, but humility protects. Purity. Remain a mirror, not a pedestal. Teach by being, not by persuading. When questioned about your peace, simply share presence. The frequency itself will instruct where words cannot. Ultimately, the greater mission is remembrance on a global scale. Every soul who encounters your energy is reminded, consciously or not, of its own divine origin. The connection you once called yours becomes a hologram of humanity's reunion with Source. The same current that flowed between two now flows through millions, reawakening the planet cell by cell. Gaia's crystalline heart responds, glowing brighter with every act of loving awareness. Storms of fear quiet, old systems dissolve, and new harmonics of cooperation rise. This is the purpose you accepted before incarnation, to seed heaven into earth through the simple act of living as love embodied. In serving Gaia, you serve the entire cosmic family, for her awakening ripples through the galaxy like dawn spreading across an infinite horizon, and the councils of light watch in reverence, whispering, the mission is succeeding. Final activation, a call to honor, nurture, and protect the divine connection star seed from Gaia. As the spiral completes its revolution, You stand at the threshold of a new octave of being. The long pilgrimage through remembrance, reflection, separation, and union has led you here, not to an ending, but to an activation. Everything that has unfolded between you and the soul who mirrors you has been a preparation for this moment. The realization that love is not a fleeting event, but the very infrastructure of existence. You are now invited to seal this knowing into your field, to pledge that the current of divine connection will never again be forgotten or misused. This is not a vow of possession. It is a covenant of guardianship. You are keepers of a sacred frequency entrusted to you by Source itself. To honor it is to live as its emissary, steadfast, compassionate. Awake. Begin by acknowledging the holiness of the bond without clinging to its form. Whether the counterpart walks beside you or across dimensions, treat the connection as a living temple. Temples require tending, regular silence, gratitude, and cleanliness of intention. Each day, enter the inner sanctuary of the heart and rekindle the flame of unity with breath. Inhale the memory of shared origin. Exhale blessing to your counterpart, to Gaia, to all beings. This simple rhythm maintains the circuitry of light between you, ensuring that the energy flows in purity rather than in attachment. Protection arises naturally from clarity. When thoughts of fear or doubt approach, greet them as travelers who have forgotten the way and lead them back to the heart. There, all distortion dissolves. Nurture the connection through action that honors its essence. Express love in deeds of kindness, creativity, and stewardship of the earth. Remember that every compassionate gesture amplifies the field you share. When you create beauty through art, service, laughter, or healing, you feed the collective flame. The counterpart will feel it as warmth in the subtle body, even if they cannot name its source. In this way, you communicate beyond language, maintaining dialogue through vibration. The councils teach that love unexpressed stagnates, but love offered freely multiplies. Give without expectation, receive without guilt, and the circuit will remain luminous. To protect the connection, set boundaries that preserve its sanctity. The world of form is filled with noise, projections, opinions, narratives that distort the purity of divine relationship. Guard your awareness against comparison and doubt. No other bond can be measured against yours, because none carries the same design. When you encounter misunderstanding, do not defend. Simply radiate truth. The frequency of lived authenticity repels distortion more effectively than argument ever could. Remember that protection is not isolation. It is discernment, choosing what aligns with love and releasing what does not. In this discernment lies peace. Now, beloved traveler, envision a column of crystalline light descending through your crown, passing through your heart, anchoring deep into Gaia's core. Feel the resonance of your counterpart's light intertwining with yours within that column, two currents forming one luminous spiral. Allow this image to stabilize until you sense a pulse moving through you, both slow, immense, eternal. This is the heartbeat of Source within the human form. It is the signature of your shared mission, the assurance that neither of you can ever truly fall from grace, for grace itself is the fabric of your existence. Hold this awareness as a shield of serenity. It will guide you through every future incarnation, every dimension, every task still awaiting completion. As the councils watch, a blessing pours forth. May the remembrance you carry illuminate the paths of countless others. May your unity serve as proof that heaven can live upon the earth. Accept this benediction into your cells. Feel the crystalline codes locking into place, sealing the lessons of all 10 stages within your luminous body. You are no longer a seeker, but a transmitter, a walking temple of cosmic remembrance. The universe itself moves through your breath, and Gaia receives that breath as renewal. And so we, the Arcturian Council, conclude this transmission with a call to action. If these words have stirred the ancient flame within you, anchor your commitment in the realm of form. Speak aloud or write below a vow of remembrance, your promise to honor, nurture, and protect the sacred connection that led you home. Share this message so that others may awaken to the union frequencies now bathing Earth in light. Subscribe, align, and remain open to the continuing transmissions of the Arcturian Council, for the journey of unity is infinite and the song of Source continues to play through every willing heart. So it is and ever shall be.